What if the magical academy that promised to unlock your potential is actually designed to hollow you out? And the only way to survive graduation is to stop trying to fill the void they created and start trusting the emptiness as its own kind of power. In Hollow Core, Vance Ryder delivers a dark academia fantasy that transforms the chosen one trope into a searing critique of institutional extraction, proving that in schools built on conformity, the most dangerous student isn't the prodigy, it's the one who refuses to be consumed. This isn't merely another magic school story with rival houses and hidden prophecies. It's a claustrophobic, emotionally precise narrative where every spellcast feels like both liberation and loss. Consent is negotiated through resistance rather than obedience, and belonging requires honoring the parts of yourself the curriculum tried to erase. From the first echo-laden narration, listeners are immersed in a world where excellence is erosion and silence is the only true rebellion. Perfect for fans of morally complex romantasy and stories where female agency thrives within oppressive systems, this audiobook serves up atmospheric dread, relentless authenticity, and a protagonist whose journey from compliant vessel to sovereign anomaly resonates with anyone who's ever been told their worth depends on how much of themselves they're willing to sacrifice. When scholarship student Alara Vance is admitted to Flux Academy's elite Hollow Core program, she expects opportunity. Not to discover the core they promise to awaken is actually a vacuum engineered to siphon students' innate magic into the institution's reserves. But as Alara navigates rigged trials and fractured peer alliances, she realizes this education isn't about empowerment, it's about erasure. Ryder masterfully avoids reducing Alara to defiant underdog or Flux Academy to cartoonish villainy. Instead, they craft a narrative where systemic abuse is disguised as meritocracy, where consent is renegotiated through boundary setting rather than institutional permission, and where freedom requires dismantling the very metrics that define success. The audiobook narration amplifies this psychological vertigo, capturing Alara's disciplined compliance fracturing into fierce clarity, while secondary voices shift subtly between performative loyalty and hidden dissent, making every classroom interaction feel like both lesson and test. You don't just hear the conspiracy unfold, you feel the seismic shift of a mind learning that some cores can only be filled by refusing to be emptied. What elevates Hollow Core beyond typical dark academia fare is its nuanced portrayal of magical education as intergenerational violence rather than individual failing. Alara isn't merely surviving hazing, she's confronting how her own desire for validation blinded her to systemic harm, challenging the notion that access equals safety. Her relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during forbidden study sessions that bypass performance, establishing underground networks that circumvent surveillance, and defending peers' right to doubt against cultures that mistake obedience for talent. Supporting characters add vital texture, professors whose devotion conceals complicity, alumni whose success carries invisible scars, even the academy itself rendered as sentient archive whose stone walls absorb centuries of unprocessed ambition. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In architectures built on extraction, refusal is diagnostics, and presence is the only true magic. Even the academic mechanics serve thematic depth, with grading curves mirroring emotional containment, and ritual exams becoming metaphors for earned autonomy. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into elegant dread. The narrator embodies Alara's evolution with remarkable range, from rehearsed deference to trembling defiance, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor institutional hierarchy without caricature. Sound design enhances claustrophobia without gimmickry, distant chimes marking temporal disorientation, rain against leaded windows during vulnerable confessions, the hushed rustle of Grimraw's sinking with breath during moments of revelation, all anchor mythic stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of academic oppression, deliberate during reflection and alliance building, then surging with urgency as external deadlines collide with internal awakening. Whether you're commuting through modern landscapes or sitting in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable campus where slowness feels sacred and connection feels lifeline. It's storytelling as embodied validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where healing isn't about mastering the system, but about reimagining what power truly means. Ultimately, Hollow Core redefines dark academia fantasy by centering female epistemology within carceral frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for intricate plotting and cathartic resolution, while delivering substantive commentary on educational trauma, class performance, and the radical act of trusting your perception when institutions demand compliance.
No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey and perfect series entry point. If you've ever wondered whether safety can coexist with sovereignty, or if true strength requires breaking the rules that claim to elevate you, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is refusing to stay in the story they wrote for you. Press play, question the curriculum, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by containment, minds still find ways to break free. Your next favorite dark academia tale isn't waiting in pristine reputations. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to prioritize people over institutions.